Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive. Now we realize that our driving styles are so repetitive and schedules are so mundane on a regular basis that we needed to spice things up for everybody. So the team decided that it was time for a tale of two cities, which is driving two Honda City cars in Mumbai and Pune for 12 hours straight at the same time. Take a look.
In today's world, the driving pattern is more or less similar in every major city around the globe. But what makes it very challenging in the Indian scheme of things are the finer details. The fabled Indian roads, the undisciplined traffic, the honking, the sudden braking, the cattle, the hawkers, the jaywalkers, the bystanders. There's so much to tackle and dodge that I wonder how no one made a video game yet out of this plot. We decided to play this plot in a typically adventurous overdrive fashion. Drive through the city for 12 hours straight and on the way experience the challenges, explore the city and meet new people.
Yes! Yes! Alright.
Not just one city, but two, because the tale of two cities makes for a great hashtag. Our choice of car was the Honda City to explore each city. Chumi and Rishabh would explore their city, Mumbai, with the petrol variant,
Because Bombay is Bombay.
and the diesel variant would be used to explore Pune, a city where Abhay, I and Overdrive were born. Let's check it out.
We are in Chembur in Bombay. By my watch, it is 11 hours 58 minutes to go. Now we are headed basically towards a place from where people might head towards lunch. So we've selected Seeps, that's an export promotion zone, also known as MIDC in Andheri East. And with me in the car, there's Anis, who's photographing us today. There's Sohini, the producer of our show. You will see other people in this car through the day as our guests come in and go. We'll talk about what they do in the city, what the city is like, city life in general. And of course, we're going to bring out the differences between Bombay and Pune in terms of the city, in terms of traffic, in terms of the food scene. It's going to be a lot of fun because if you haven't tried it, drive 12 hours in your city and see, I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Just that it wasn't. They headed straight for traffic jams, while we drove to the historic Aga Khan Palace to soak in a bit of its calming vibe. And the weather was just perfect. This is where we also met our first OD reader for the day, Harshit, a motoring enthusiast who has studied in Mumbai and is a data analyst in Pune. Meanwhile, the Mumbai boys drove past the first Indian airport, the Juhu Aerodrome. Mumbai, in fact, is known for a lot of firsts. In Pune, we drove to the Eon IT Park, but since its modern-day architecture looks better from an airplane than a car, we carried on driving to the other parts of the city. Meanwhile, the breakfast-deprived Mumbai boys met new guests, and all they could talk about was food.
Restaurants. No, food.
Beautiful restaurant, globally influenced food, lunch or dinner.
When eat Bombay restaurants.
Asian food restaurants,
To eat.
dining, online ordering.
Clean menus, small places like frozen pizza. That's awesome.
Delivery kitchens are a big deal in Mumbai lately, and that is also how our Mumbai boys got their lunch on the go. Other factors that are currently putting a lot of pressure on Mumbai and Pune's traffic scene are the app-based cabs and the construction work that is going on for the metro rail.
How long have you lived in Bombay?
So I was born and brought in Bombay actually. So I'm 32 now.
So 32 years in Bombay. huh?
Bombay, yes.
What's the biggest thing that you think has changed since what you remember of Bombay from back then till today? In terms of the roads, traffic?
Traffic has increased exponentially. Number of people have increased exponentially. The infrastructure has sort of improved only at a glacial pace, I would say, not at the rate it should have. But the one thing that has always remained a constant is this undying spirit of Mumbai. I think whatever happens, Mumbai is famous to just keep going on and on and on. I like the fact that there's so much energy around this place. You're always on your toes, and you're always ready to get to some place, get your work done. There's so much. It's so alive, and I think that's something that hasn't changed over these 32 years.
While Shumi and Rishabh spoke of Mumbai being alive all the time, most of Pune was enjoying, well, its afternoon siesta, which also meant that roads were relatively empty and we were making a lot of progress on the mileage, falling only 15 kilometers short of the Mumbai boys. By now, they had hit the most beautiful part of Mumbai, rich in the Art Deco architecture. Every time you drive past the Asiatic Library, the Victoria Terminus, the Taj, the Gateway of India, there's a sense of nostalgia that fills you up. In Pune, we too were getting our dose of nostalgia and breathing in a bit of the decorated history. We are driving past what is probably the icon for Pune. If you search for Pune, the first thing that will turn up in terms of its images, in terms of the icon, is this, the Shaniwar Wada. It is a fort in itself, and this place is literally the heart of the Pune city, because the counting for Pune, or the pin codes, it all starts from here. Go down the road, you have the Dagdushet Halwai. It's a sight in itself. The statue of the Dagdushet Halwai Ganpati, it's a sight in itself, and priority in terms of priority, it is right up there above
I think
any other.
The temple.
It is the temple that you have to visit. If you are in this part of the world, you have to come to Pune. You have to see Shaniwar Wada. You have to see the Dagdushet Halwai. In fact, Abhay was mentioning the other day that Shaniwar Wada also has some spooky stories about itself.
Yeah.
So, we are not going to tell you that story. That's something that you need to hear from the locals when you're here.
Exactly.
And experience the whole thing when you're visiting Shaniwar Wada. The sea link with the sun setting over the Arabian Sea is a lovely sight for the Mumbaikars. But we had it better in Pune. We ran straight for the mountains because scenic places like these are never too far away from the city. Which motoring enthusiast would ever say no to mountain roads? It is stuff like this that makes Pune such a better place to live in. Mumbai is charming in its own way, and while the term spirit of Mumbai sounds cliched, it is true. And only once you live here do you understand what it truly means. From terror attacks and natural calamities to congestion and lack of living space, Mumbai endures everything and teaches everyone how to. By now, we were inching closer to the end of 12 hours, having endured the traffic, enjoyed the unique vibes of both the cities, met so many interesting people, and yet we were so excited like the road trip had just started. But it was time now to conclude the trip, and Shumi summed it all up quite nicely.
We've come back onto the Marine Drive to close, and I think there's no more appropriate road than this to close. We are at 166 kilometers and our time is finishing in 44 seconds. The Pune guys have covered relatively a smaller distance, and full credit to them for being in the car for 12 straight hours and all of that, and I hope they've had as much fun as we do. On the whole, I am amazed at how easy it's been to be in a car for 12 straight hours, drive through traffic, be stuck here and there, and just not take any strain from it at all. But if you were driving on a regular day with the kind of really heavy, dense traffic that Bombay tends to get, I think the CVT might have been a little bit easier to drive. My takeaways are 2 or 3. One, many of Mumbai's problems come from the fact that we are not managing our construction well enough, or there isn't enough space to manage the kind of construction required to keep the city going, and that causes its own stress. The second thing I learned today is, as I have known for a while, Mumbai traffic is fairly orderly, so it's actually quite easy to drive. A lot of the stress we get from the driving is just either being stuck in traffic for enormous amounts of time, under the pressure of having to get somewhere on time, and that really is a stress factor, not really the driving as much. If you just calm down and think about the fact that you are doing everything you can to get to your destination on time, your stress levels will be lower and you'll feel much happier. And of course, if you have a nice car, that always helps. This particular Honda City is treated us really well. It's a spacious car. Mumbai is an amazingly disciplined city for the density of traffic it carries. I'm going to, today was the day when we basically sat and thought about that for the whole day, and it's been absolutely amazing how easy it is to drive here given the fact that people generally follow rules. Overall, it's been great fun. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We are Overdrive. We are good at this. You guys continue to watch us. We need your support, and that was a lovely little drive. One line for the Honda City, perfect for the city.
It's a wrap then from us on the final show, the 2018 show of Overdrive. We'll be back next year in 2019 with many more exciting and action-packed stories. Until then, party hard but don't drink and drive.